It's time for another power-packed episode of Headspace with Dr. Mike. Each week, Dr. Mike is committed to addressing real life, sometimes polarizing and controversial issues, while offering practical and informed insight. Listen in as we discuss hot topics that matter to us and the communities we live in.
Headspacers, what's happening? Woo!
Hey.
Virtual studio.
Hey.
We are so excited to have you all. I have here today with us our co-host, Christy. What's up, girl?
What's up? What's up, Headspacers?
All right, and we have Crystal. What's up, Crystal?
Hey.
Good. It's good to see y'all today. You know, guess what, y'all? We are here. First of all, I just want to thank all of you who are tuning in on our live show. Remember, we broadcast on Saturdays, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And so we are here Eastern time. And those of you that are tuning in via our podcast, we literally have listeners all over the world, and they tune in on the podcast. Welcome to the conversation. We're so glad to have you. Some of our studio audience is chiming in. My mama is on there. Good morning. Mama is lit. Okay. Mama is lit. Our boy Kevin out in Denver is saying, good morning, Dr. D. Good morning, Kevin. Good to see you, brother. Those of you that are tuning in live, make sure you make your presence known. Let us know what's happening. We always want you to engage in our conversation because we got a lot to talk about. A lot has been happening. A lot has been happening in the world. But I want to give a special shout out to Elevation Global Media, the Elevation Global Media Group. Thank you so much for just all your support. We appreciate you. We love you. We definitely appreciate the fact that we get to be a part of this Elevation Global Media Group. And y'all, let's get to talking. What in the what has been going on, Christy?
So first of all, this show would have to be at least 2 days long, 2 to 3 days long, consecutively, to get through everything that's been going on over the past month that we've been on break. But I don't even know what, Dr. Mike, Crystal, you guys start, because I just don't even know where to begin.
Well,
plus, I think Mason's gonna make me have to go get him.
Yes, we got Mason, because Mason is our other co-host, and he's probably upset that I did not give him a shout out.
That's what it is.
That's what it was.
So I'll be right back. Y'all start.
That's all good. So we are dealing with the situation. Shavella, my wife. Well, we can really start now because Shavella has tuned in, and so Shavella, hey boo, thank you for tuning in. So first of all, we got to talk about it costs an arm and a leg to fill up our gas tanks.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to have to just buy an air mattress and sleep at work. Like, that's going to be my solution. Take a shower at the YMCA. I don't know. Like, we need to work from home for real now.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people that I know when people they post on social media, like for instance, in the summertime, I always laugh at people when they post a picture of the thermometer in the car, right? Yes, we know it's 100 degrees out. Like that's like, we know this. It's summer. Like that's, in the winter, we know it's like 2 degrees out. And so I'm one of those people that I kind of am a cynic when it comes to those things. And it was one of those things that when people started complaining about the gas price, I was like, come on, y'all, we know the gas prices are going up. Like, why are we acting like this is brand new? But then, we've had high gas, but I've never experienced it like this. And listeners tuning in, have y'all ever experienced it like this? I have never experienced the high gas prices like this.
Yeah, I haven't either. And then how people used to be like, oh, it's a flex to post what type of car you have or whatever. I want to see your gas tank. Show me a picture of your gas tank. Is it on full or is it
Exactly.
Where's it at?
I know that I have been and one of the things here in Maryland, we at one point they did suspend the gas tax. So, for our listeners, understand that the price that we see at the pump is a combination of things. Like, for instance, the gas itself may cost one thing, but then there's extra taxes that kind of pay for, the environment, the cost to do business. I know here in Maryland, it's close to 40 cents or maybe 30 to 40 cents. I can't remember exact number, but it's added to what the cost of gas is. So like when we see the pump, for instance, I was at Costco and it was like 480 something, right? For regular. 30%, like 30 cents of that is from that tax. Apparently there's another tax from the federal government. So like there's close to I want to say close to $1 in taxes before we even get to what the price of gas is, which is why I think Texas, like whenever I'm in Texas, the gas seems to be just the cheapest ever. But it's just really crazy. Annette is saying that I'm guessing she's saying that nope, she's never experienced it like this, and it's over $8 a gallon in LA. And LA is always expensive anyway. I mean, what will you do, Crystal, if it's $8 a gallon to fill your gas?
I have to figure out how to ride the bus. I don't know. I have clearly no idea.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, there has to be like some ride sharing program, or you only do everything in direction. Like, I'm going to go to the store, everything that's in this area, I'm going to do those things. And that's it. Those are the only things that I can do. No more road trips, none of that. And if you think about it, it's not really economical to even get an electric car because electricity bills are sky to the high. All the home bills have gone up too.
Yeah.
Let's just break out Mo and Joe. The left leg and the right leg. The right foot and the left foot.
The delivery fee of gas to my home is more than what I actually use. Bills this past winter, almost $400 a month. So it's not even just and I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about the fact that if you rely on oil for your home, that's also impacted too. Wow. We got to figure out something, Brother Joe.
Yeah, because it's going to make everything else go up. Because if you think everything is delivered, as far as the food to the grocery stores, the tractors that they use to harvest the food, as far as the people the farmers. So that's going to be added cost from their end that they're going to pass it on down to us. So I guess we're all just going to be vegan, because
and become gardeners.
Gardeners.
Mm-hmm.
And remember back in the day when your mom used to be like, "You ain't hungry, just drink some water." That's all we're gonna be doing is drinking water. Like,
you know what? Let me go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and drink some water. That's true. You can drink some water.
You gotta laugh to keep from crying.
Well, we are praying about that because I think that this gas thing and this whole inflation of how things are, and I think depending on where you are financially determines how you view it. Because I imagine there are some folk that don't even realize that gas is what it is, and then there are other folk who do. So I guess I don't want any of our listeners to think that we are belittling where you are. It really is. You could have said it earlier, Christy. You said you got to laugh to keep from crying, and it's like that. It's one of the things that you just have to figure out how to do with what you can do with it. But it's
rough.
So
go ahead.
So then the other piece of it is, so we had that going on. Then they decided to the January 6th. So January 6th back, what was that, 2022? Yeah. 2021.
We're in 22 right now.
We're in 2022. Okay.
Yeah.
These last 3 years have been blending together.
Thanks.
So we remember January 6th, it was this big thing. It was the day that the presidential election was supposed to be certified by Congress. And we know about the whole issue of how that played out. And so there's been this committee that has been meeting, and we have been hearing pieces of it. Well, finally, they are revealing their results.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's a whole show. It's a whole. I was watching one of my favorite commentators or influencers, I guess, and they were like, it's giving a whole mini series of what they're doing, and it's theatrical, but necessarily I don't even think that they're going overboard or doing too much with it. I mean, you've seen these images, and some of these were new images that they showed on, what was that, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
But like the overlay with the emergency calls, and then with former President Trump's comments, it was quite disturbing. And that's just the best word I can find right now.
I think back to, did you have Mrs. Reed for U.S. history in 11th grade?
I did.
So I think back to that class and how we had to study different aspects of history. And I feel like those students in about 10 years taking the AP U.S. history exam may have a DBQ on the January 6th insurrection. And you know, and it's one of those things that we talk about being apolitical. At the end of the day, like, the cameras don't lie. Like, you can be mad at the spin that the media may have put on it, but I mean, we saw with our own eyes. Like, that was pretty crazy. And just hearing some of the feedback of what you always got to look at what the intent. And I know, Crystal, I know you were pre-law. And I mean, you're in law enforcement. Isn't that something that's always looked at as like, what is the intent of what was supposed to be happening? Like, a lot of times, if a person, I think that's the difference between manslaughter and murder, right? It's all about the intent. Like, you could accidentally kill someone, and so it may not be murder, but you still did kill them, right? And so it's all about the intent, right?
Right, because there's a difference between like premeditated murder as well. When you've thought about it, you plotted it out, then you went ahead and did it through,
Yeah. And then you have that piece of it. You have this group of folk who were mad about the results of the election. I get it. You're upset about the results of the election. Like, I get it. I have a feeling that this next election coming up, there are going to be people who weren't upset about the last election. They're going to be upset about this one, right? I mean, that's just par for the course. But what do you do about it? Like, is it really? I don't know, y'all. I have a hard time with this. That somebody even posted this, and I'm not trying to make this be about race. However, there's some things there with it. But somebody even posted. They said some folk got less time in prison for what they did with that than for smoking weed or possessing weed. And I'm just like, weed is legal in a nice chunk of the country now. So
listen, we could spend the rest of the show on this, but just, they were savages. They were savages. They were animals. They were just, it was absolutely revolting. Absolutely revolting. And we shall say, I'm looking forward to the miniseries. I will be.
I am too. And I believe that every American, regardless of where you sit in your politics, should watch and see what evidence is presented. Right.
Absolutely.
And I think that's that. Before we go to my heads up, want to make sure we still make mention of the result. These mass shootings that are still happening around our country. I think there's even since Uvalde and even before that Buffalo, there was one here in Maryland. Apparently, in Maryland, in Western Maryland, there was a mass shooting, and some folk went to work that morning and didn't come home. Didn't come home at night. And I just want to take a few moments on behalf of the Headspace with Dr. Mike team is to let the families and friends of those who were impacted by all of those mass shootings know that we love and we're praying. I mean, I know I don't know about you, but I get fatigued of the thoughts and prayers. And this is coming from a preacher. Like, I know the power of prayer. I do believe in the power of prayer, but I also believe that faith without works is dead. And I believe that there comes a point where there is something that we need to do besides just giving the blanket, I'm praying for you. Well, you're praying for us, but what is your prayer? And I'm gonna talk about this a little bit in my heads up, that we say we're gonna pray, but what are we praying for? Right? Are we just praying that people get peace, or are we praying for resolution? And then when the resolution comes about, there are ideas for what the resolution is. I could preach on this all day, y'all, but I love it when people bring me these are the problems, but don't have any ideas of what the solutions are. Well, what are the solutions? And I don't think any normal person is saying that we need to just ban guns in the country. I don't think anybody is saying that. But I do think that there are some things that do need to be taken into consideration. I think that the fact that a 21-year-old, I mean, a 18-year-old can't do a whole lot of stuff, but they can buy a AR-15 rifle that when it shoots somebody, it pulverizes them. Like you couldn't recognize the victims.
Yeah.
That's an assault rifle. Like why? I think that we keep on talking about mental health, but you're not putting any funding. Come on, government. Come on, Congress. You saying that mental health is an issue? Well, are you funding the mental health agencies? Here in Maryland, we're in the process of closing down state hospitals, right? So what are we doing? So my thing is, all right, if we're gonna say we're gonna pray, then let's go ahead and do what we got to do. Kevin said Uvalde hit too close to home. We need to band together and create laws for the mental health crisis here in America. I agree, Kevin. I think that that's a piece of the puzzle. And what I appreciate from you is that you're offering some sorts of solution, but we need to get those people that can make these decisions to start putting their money where their mouth is. Amen.
Agreed.
Well, on that note, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's just take let's just take one quick break because y'all gonna get me preaching here. 2020 gave birth to a lot of endeavors. Here in 2021, everyone has had to get in touch with their inner producer. Our man Garrett Brace is one of those guys you need on your team. We at Headspace with Dr. Mike are clients of his as he ensures all of our audio files are crisp, clean, and cool. If you have any audio, video, and even lighting needs, hit him up at G Walt Services on Instagram. Remember, G Walt Services, servicing all your audio, video, and lighting needs. Woo! All right, y'all. So over the past few months, my family and I had some serious challenges. You may have noticed that we weren't on the air for a good month, and it was because of those challenges. I'm not going to lie. There were some challenges that were going on. The main piece was financial, and why I bring that up. First of all, Sherelle and I are stronger than ever. Our marriage is not on the rocks because whenever you got to make sure you take the stick out of the devil's hand. It ain't got nothing to do with our marriage is good. So little Mike is doing well. Things are good with that. But what was happening was I think all of us have a spot. We have this thing that I like to call it the devil's clinch hitter. And what it is that he can kind of tap onto some particular area. And for us to kind of get us off path is financial. It's like when our finances just go crazy, that's when stuff happens. And for me, I've been in this health journey for a long time. One of my triggers, I'm very clear, is in the financial area. So when finances kind of just go off, when things are just not going the way they need to go financially, when we have financial challenges, it's a trigger. And what happens is I tend to step off of my health plan, primarily, and just everything else. And knowing this, I found myself waiting. I just find myself, I'll put myself on something, things are going really well, but I'm waiting for the bottom to fall out. And it always inevitably is something that's even deeper than what I expected. You know how we have some challenges. It's like, we have these challenges and these things are happening, but I'm able to plus through them. And usually I can do, but then all of a sudden I can tell when my blessing is right around the corner, when our blessing as a family is right around the corner, because that attack is just even stronger. I believe in spiritual warfare, and I believe that thing is big. And one of the things I found is that I always say I'm going to do better. But then it's like when the challenge gets there, it's heavier. And in this particular situation, while we were going through the challenge, I lost my sense of creativity. I would try to sit down and try to, even put the ideas together. What are we going to talk about for Headspace? And just couldn't do it. I'm not able to fully sleep. Even if I'm sleeping, it's not fully restful. And not to mention, in turn, I'm aggravated, right? Everything is bothering me. Everything is frustrating me. And one of the things that I realized, and it took a couple of good friends of mine, my family, of course, but then also just spending some time with the Word And by the word, I'm talking about the word of God. And hearing God say, when David said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor its seed begging bread, holding on to the promises of God, holding on to the plan, the fact that I have to trust God. There are times where I may not see it, but I have to trust it. And that's hard, y'all. And one of the things that kind of came out of that season was how I'm good at making a commitment to eat better, a commitment to spend more time with my family, a commitment to do this show, a commitment to take a walk every day. Like we talk about making commitments, but you know what, one thing I failed to do is I failed to make a commitment to commit. And you may be saying, Mike, that sounds kind of crazy, but let's think about it. Very rarely do I hear when people are putting vision boards together or putting their expectations and stuff together for what they're going to do, that they say, you know what, I'm going to commit to committing. And I guess the key here is understanding what exactly does it mean to commit. What it means is when I'm committing to pressing through even in spite of the bottom falling out. I'm committed to saying, you know what? I'm committing to this commitment. I'm committing to the fact that there was a reason why I set this expectation for myself. There's a reason why I said I wanted A. There was a reason why I said I wanted B. There's a reason why I said I wanted C. And you know what? I'm going to commit to that, right? I'm going to actually say, you know what? It's time for me to go ahead and do what it means. It may mean that things are going to be uncomfortable for a little while longer, but guess what? It's because I'm holding up to my commitment. And I think back to Philippians 3:14 when Paul says, I press toward the prize of the higher calling, which is in Christ Jesus. And a lot of times, we talk about the fact that Paul's commitment was to make sure he got the gospel out. And ultimately, our role as those of us who are Christians, our role is to get the gospel message of Jesus Christ out and about and really start building up his kingdom. But what I appreciate about that whole concept is that there are areas by which we do that. For instance, this show is a part of that plan, right? Me getting my health where it needs to get to is a part of that plan, because how can I be effective in sharing with other people the power of a disciplined life if I'm not exhibiting a disciplined life myself, right? And so you always got to think about where all those things fit in the scheme of things. And he said, I press toward the prize, the idea that, you know what, in spite of everything that may be going on around me, I am in a race. And I've put on these blinders. When you think about it, like I am, you think about a horse race. A lot of times when you see horses racing, they actually have blinders. And what that is that literally blocks them from seeing the other things that are happening on both sides of them. And he says, you know what? I am so fixed on where it is I'm supposed to be heading. Y'all got me talking. I'm so fixed on what it is that's supposed to be ahead that I am committed to committing to making sure I get there, that nothing is going to stop me from that. In spite of what it may look like, in spite of what it may sound like, there may be something that I hear on the other side, but it doesn't matter because I'm not paying attention to it because I see what I'm supposed to see at the finish line. And I think that that's something that's important for me. And that was really a big conviction for me. And that was something that I wanted to share with you all about making sure we're committing to commit, right? We're making that commitment to commit. And on that note, guess what, y'all? That's my heads up.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
All right. Commitment to commit. Commitment to commit. We got to do it. We got to do it, y'all. We got to commit to commit. And part of my commitment to commit is making sure that we get Headspace with Dr. Mike where it needs to be, because we play a big role in that. And so that's something I'm going to do, and I can't let these things get in the way. The Queen.
Who, Beyonce?
Word on the street is that she's up to something, because she's been striking all her stuff off of her social media. They said something about that. Usually, when she does that means she's about to throw something out there. You think she's up to something, Crystal?
It says it's been 6 years since she's dropped an album, so she may be releasing some music.
Really? Huh.
Sorry, I got us on to another topic, but go ahead.
Yeah.
You were talking about that queen.
We weren't talking about that queen. We were talking about Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth has had 70 years on the throne. Now that's pretty impressive. Now I don't care who you are, that is pretty impressive. Fascinating. And she's a snazzy dresser for, what is she, 96?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. She, I don't necessarily think y'all should put on what she wears because she's kind of short. So that would.
And she's 96.
But for 90s, she wears the bright colors. She committed to the bright colors. Like that green she had on. I feel like I had a pair of pants back when we used to wear cross colors. That was that same color. But she, and what I appreciate about it was she said, "Y'all go ahead and have your little party. I'm gonna go ahead and rest. I'm gonna go out on this. I'm gonna go out on this little this balcony, and I'm gonna go ahead and wave, let the people see me."
Listen, sis is tired. She's been, like you said, she's been doing this for 70 years. The wave and all of that for 70 years. I'll say this. I think I was watching maybe the Today Show and they were doing their special on it. I'm always still, even today, so amazed about how invested the United States is in what they do across the pond.
Right.
I don't really care. I don't really care. I really don't.
You.
I don't really care. Only thing I really watched was the marriage of oh my Lord,
Harry and Meghan.
Yes. My mom called me during the party at the palace or whatever. She was calling me all excited. She was like, "Are you watching the party at the palace?" I said, "Mom, no, I'm not watching. But you enjoy. I'm not shading or, if that's what does it for you, go on. But no, I'm not watching the party at the palace."
Yeah, I'm with you. I am kind of fascinated though at how Americans. I mean, didn't we declare our independence from them like a long time ago? Like, wasn't that like a whole thing? But I was watching the talk, and one of the things that people were talking about with the monarchy and stuff, and they were saying that's really all England has. Like at the end of the day, when it comes to when you talk about England, it's the whole monarchy. Like that's really what draws people to them. I think they said something like they make over like $40-something billion because of the monarchy. Like, wow. Like it's a huge amount of money that comes in because of that. So hey, it's working for them. I mean, seriously, the weather's not that great over there. It really, I mean, seriously, it's not. I mean, it's the food. I never hear people talking about, "Woo, you got to have that British food, like that English." I mean, there's nothing that really sticks out that makes people say, "Oh, it's really the whole royal thing." Like that's what draws their money. So hey, do what y'all gonna do. We got it. What else you got for us, Christy? Congratulations to Queen Elizabeth, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we change, I want to say real quick about her bright colors. She's quoted as saying, she wears the bright colors so that the people can see her. And she says, you have to be seen to be believed.
Oh,
I love that quote.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. Come on, mother.
Okay, she's a diva.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of being seen and oh Lord, who's gotten all the attention? This Monique and D.L. Hughley saga. Now, we're not going to stay on this long, but we would be remiss if we did not talk about that, especially being from Baltimore. Let me just say that as I wear my Charm City Queen t-shirt. Let me just say this. Monique is embarrassing us. She may be 100% right with her contractual issues with the promoter and all of that, but it is how you handle things. And that is what she has been challenged by for the past 6 years. And I don't know if it's this husband, bless you, baby. If it's this husband, she didn't seem this off the hook before Precious. I don't know. Was it the Oscar that just took her to this diva status? And I'm not saying
She
a
lost
woman's
some
not
weight too.
worth.
You know, when people lose weight, we tend to lose our minds a little bit too. So
Yeah,
didn't she lose some weight too?
she lost some weight, a lot of weight actually, and happy for her. That's all wonderful. But I it's the thing is, most of the time her message has merit.
Yeah,
It's the delivery of that message when she loses people, and then we can't even hear your message. It's like a trash can serving filet mignon and crab cake and lobster on a trash can lid.
Well, she's declared war on a lot of folk. I mean, starting with Oprah, Tyler Perry. I think she did come back. She had to come to Jesus with what's his name, Daniels.
Lee Daniels.
Because I think she's doing something with him. But now this whole DL Hughley thing, at the whole, and if to our listeners, if you're following the whole thing, like go back and kind of just follow it. It's kind of. She and DL Hughley were set to be headliners for something in Detroit, and somehow another things. I don't know if wires got crossed. I don't know if certain people didn't sign certain things, but basically she was beefing because DL Hughley, I think, was considered more of the headliner than her. And one of the things that DL Hughley responded back was, you need to take this up with your management. Like, that's why you hire people to take care of your business. Like, that's not, and if I remember correctly, as I watched the clips, most of her set was about that. So, like, wait a minute, didn't you get hired in to tell other jokes? Like,
that was just 10 minutes. I don't know did you see the whole thing?
Oh, that's right, because it was 45 minutes. So
that was just the first 10 minutes of it. She did eventually tell jokes.
She was paid for 45 minutes, and did you know that this DL Hughley thing was going to come up before you came on? So now you owe the people another 10 minutes or 10 minutes worth of money, I guess. I don't know. I just look, those of us who call ourselves entrepreneurs, that's one of the reasons why you need to go ahead and make the investment in getting the right people on your team. If you don't have a law degree, you shouldn't be approving contracts. I mean, I'm just saying. I remember my barber, Mike Miller. Remember Mike Miller, Christy? Mike Bumpy Miller. He was my barber for years. And I was telling him about how I bought some clippers because I was going to, try to do something with myself. And he said to me, look, you a speaker. He said, that's what you do well. He said, you didn't go to school to be a barber. So go ahead and let the people that know how to barber, let them do, and that was true. That was gold. Like, I owe him a love offering for that, because that was so true. Like, if you don't know, let the people that know what to do. Now, if you got the wrong people on your team, then that's, you need to do your due diligence to make sure you vet the right person. What you got to say about that, Crystal?
I wholeheartedly agree. Because like even the Bible says, if you seek wise counsel, you will have wise counsel, So I think that the people whoever's behind the scenes, one, I guess, I don't know, they call people the handlers, whoever her handlers are not handling her correctly. Number two, she is acting out of emotional type things, and it's very rash. And she's been in the industry for so long. However, one of her problems is she keeps relying on the past. I did this in the past, and everybody's like, "Hello, what have you done since then? You haven't done anything since the Queens." She has done things since the Queens of Comedy, but she keeps saying, "Well, I'm a comedian. I did Queens of Comedy." Honey, it is all the way 2022. You're gonna have to come with something else, and then also she should know your relationship. Like the entertainment industry is very small. It's almost like any other industry. If you're a mechanic, you know the other mechanics in the city. If you are a chef, you know the other chefs in the city. Wherever you are, you know who works in your industry and you know who's good and bad. So why would you ruin your reputation with the other people? You have to work with these people. You have to see them again.
That's right.
It's not like you could just be like, I went off on you now. These are the main players. What are you doing?
And Monique, look, you went to Milford Mill, so that was a rivalry of Randallstown. So I mean, maybe you acting like a Milford Miller.
Oh, Mike. Oh, low blow.
Oh, I'm getting so much hate from the Milford. No, Milford
Oh,
people know I
yeah.
love them.
You started something.
Yeah, I know I'm starting something, but I mean, I'm just saying, you represent Milford Mill. Look, we would go get your girl, Millers. Go get your girl. Because we handle our folk. I'm thinking back to all the Rams through the years, and our Rams are making us proud. I'm just saying. So come on, Millers, get y'all's girl together. Well, anyway, we're gonna see how this plays out. Let's go ahead and take a quick break because we got some other things to talk about.
Our world is filled with polarizing topics that land most people on one side or the other. The Headspace with Dr. Mike team isn't afraid to take them on. Monthly, we will invite people on both sides of some of the most controversial topics, from the serious to the silly, to debate their positions. We look forward to charged discussions that will inform and entertain. DM your head-to-head show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook at Headspace DM.
So let's do a quick head-to-head real quick. I don't know. Are y'all following the NBA Finals? Are y'all following the NBA Finals? Who y'all got?
Not really. I know who's playing, but I'm not following really.
You're not following it really? How about you, Crystal? You following it? You're a basketball fan.
No, I am a basketball fan, but I have been so busy with everything else in life that I haven't had time to watch it.
That stuff, getting your passport stamped and all that stuff. That's the conversation. Yes, you have. Well, look, I am not. Well, y'all didn't make this fun, but those that know me know that I was a late bloomer when it came to like watching sports. Like I played them, but just to sit down and actually sit and just dedicate my time to sit and watch, I could find other things to do. But I guess I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or whatever, but I've actually found myself enjoying sitting down and kind of watching and enjoying. And I'm not really a big NBA fan, but I do enjoy watching the Warriors. Like I do. Y'all could call me a bandwagon fan, although I've been on the Warriors kick for a number of years. They make watching, to me, that I enjoy watching them because they make the game look fun. Like I just think that they're a good team. But last night, Draymond Green did not have the best of nights. He did not have the best of nights. So much so that Coach Steve Kerr, pulled him out of the game. And this was a major thing because they were saying that was a big move in the finals. Do you really pull out one of your star players? But his game was stinking. And let me tell y'all something. This right here gave me life. This is a tweet from his mama. Please, people, stop asking me what's wrong with Dre. I don't know. Maybe this is a clone. Laughing my butt off. Where is the Draymond that helped get us here? I have never seen this either. First of all, Mary B. Babers Green. By the way, let me tell y'all something. Through the years, because she has a check. She has a blue check.
She's certified.
She is certified, y'all. Let me tell you something. She makes it clear when she is not happy about how the games are going. But she threw shade. I don't even know. I wouldn't even call that shade. That she was letting people know. No, don't come asking me. Don't come asking me about what he doing. Because I don't know.
She said, I already did my job. I don't know why he's not doing his. I already did mine.
Right. I'm done.
I got a question for y'all. Has your mama or even your daddy thrown shade at you?
My dad's a pastor. He's always throwing shade from the pulpit. Okay? From the pulpit, in front of everyone.
Yeah. Yes. Shade is just a part of the culture, I think.
Part of the culture.
And black parenting.
It is. Let me tell y'all something. My mother, she on here, she'll testify. Y'all, my first sermon was not the best. It was not the best, y'all. Crystal, you remember back at Cedarville, we had fellowship. We used to call it fellowsleep, but it was fellowship. And you know, the way at Cedarville, we had to go to church a lot. And back in the day, like we churched a lot. We all are church mice. You know, all three of us, we church mice. You went service on Sunday morning, Sunday night there was service. There was something going on Wednesday. Not to mention there was probably something else going on through the week. You definitely at some point on Saturday had to end up at the church. And so at Cedarville, we had this thing, and we this thing called Advisory 7, so Add 7, and we like helped the campus pastor. He preached on Wednesdays, but on Sunday nights, we actually took rotation of preaching. And so I did my first sermon, y'all. My parents drove out from Baltimore for this day. Like my parents, what I love about my parents is that there has not been any major event in my life that they were not there for. My parents and my sister, like they were always there. And the dog was there. Smokey came on all the trips to Cedarville too. And I did this, and I don't even know if you remember this, Crystal, but I did a sermon about worship. Y'all, when I look back at it, it was horrible, but it wasn't horrible like on the standard of like what we were used to at Cedarville, you know what I mean? But it was horrible for the standard like by which I grew up, right? And my mom was good about it. Like she didn't say it right away, but I do recall a few times after I preached since then that she actually said something along the lines of, baby, I'm just going to be honest. I was worried that you may have missed your call.
Well, see, like you said, I think what it was, I do remember you preaching. I think what it was you were used to Black church, and it wasn't Black church. That was the main thing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like I think you were used to the talk back, the interaction of a sermon, and you actually paused for those things.
And then what happened?
And it wasn't happening.
Mike, your first lesson was know your audience.
Know my audience.
That was his mistake.
Let me tell you something. So all that to say, when I saw Draymond Green's mom's tweet, I said if Pamela had Twitter back then, that probably would have been one of her tweets. Baby, you need to really talk to the Lord and make sure you got your calling together. So I love you, mama. I love you. But anyway, I just had to throw it. Have your parents ever thrown some shade at you? So there's that. Christy, you had something else that you weren't, y'all, we have a pre-meeting before we meet. And we always talk about what we're going to talk about. You said there was something, but you surprising us with it.
Yeah, I want to wait a little. I want to get into a few more things before we go there.
All right, what you want to get into now?
We have to talk about the latest Nick Cannon addition to the tribe, the starting lineup. Y'all, he about to have another baby.
What number is that?
Someone online said I thought it was a couple babies.
I'm sorry, it is. This is number, I think it's 89 or 9 10. I can't keep up, Crystal. I'm just, y'all, this is a problem. He's got a problem.
I want to know who are these women that are agreeing to this nonsense.
Crystal, listen, I mean, if I was another lifetime without the morals that I have and the conviction that I have, I mean, that's a guaranteed, I'm gonna be taken care of situation. So yeah. I see what they're doing. I don't agree with what they're doing. I don't condone it, but I see what they're doing. Hey, I'm gonna be taken care of. My kid's gonna be taken care of. So why not?
No, but it's only financially. He's not going to be there when the kid is crying in the middle of the night. He's not going to be there for all the programming and the things that the kids do, or any type of lessons, or it's the money is not enough. Like, indeed. I wish people will realize that finances is not the only thing that you need in life. Mm-hmm. Like the child, still needs love, still needs attention. Women, you need the emotional support when you have a child. Like it's a lot. Your body goes through a lot physically, the changes. But maybe that's just me.
And how old is he? He's at least, is he 40 yet?
Yeah. I'm
sure. How old is Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon is
41.
He's 41 years old, according to Alexa.
Yeah. I knew he was in his 40s. Yep, I knew that.
He is the contemporary version of Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Listen, And the thing is, he goes back to the former baby mamas. So,
Well, I don't think Mariah's
let's do
having that.
another
Well, I
one.
guess Mariah can't. She probably a little too old. For
Well,
that.
well, speaking of the things that you do to have babies, let's talk about this. Have y'all heard about the woman who successfully sued? I believe it was Enterprise or what? No, I'm sorry, Geico. Geico successfully sued Geico because she got an STD. I think it was the which one? Which STD was it? It's the one that can cause cancer. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now. HPV. Yes, she got HPV because she had intercourse with some man in his vehicle. He had HPV, knew he had HPV, and gave her HPV. And because she now has to deal with the ongoing, medical situations that come from that, it, almost like her having an accident in the car with him, she successfully sued Geico for the injury.
For $5.2 million.
$5.2 million. Now, whether Geico will actually have to pay that remains to be seen, but the court did agree that she had a valid lawsuit. Can y'all
wait, I didn't hear that part. I knew she sued him, but it actually was valid.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. They said that because when she first did the lawsuit, Geico basically dismissed it, like, I'm not, doing this claim, and they did not do the proper, representation for their client, for their, sorry, mommy brain is still real after almost a year. Their customer, right? So apparently there's a procedures and steps you have to take, but they kind of dismissed it, probably thought it was frivolous, like, please, we're not paying this, right? And so time went on and she pursued it, and Jax is barking, and they were like, you had time to appropriately represent your customer, your client in the situation, and you didn't do it. Therefore, we're awarding her this $5.2 million. So Of course they're appealing and all of that. But yes, she got HPV because she had sex in the car with a Geico customer, and she was successful. I'm impressed.
Well, you know what? And I'm going to probably get dinged for this. I'm curious as if it makes it to the Supreme Court, what they'll rule on it. Because that's interesting. Because that's a whole lot. So, at this point, you could catch COVID from a car, like riding in the car with somebody.
It opens up a can of worms.
I'm saying, there's just so many. How do you know you got it from him? Like,
because they did whatever. They found out he had.
How do we know that she didn't have it before?
No, they did. They did all of that. They investigated that. They found out he had it. They found out that he knew he had it.
Oh.
And all of that.
She had her records, her health records indicating that she didn't have it because she had her yearly checkups and stuff. So your records show that you didn't have it. And then all of a sudden you have it after you've had intercourse with this man.
Wow.
So she could prove that she got it from him.
Yep.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
I have no words. I knew about the lawsuit. I didn't know. Wow. You know what, y'all? I'm going to let y'all y'all marinate on that for a minute. We're going to go ahead and come back in 30 seconds. Focused on photo, versed in video, For Any Media brings visions to life, from headshots to family shoots, casual candids to structured scenes. Our team can provide whatever you need. In Baltimore, you may have seen us at local events such as the Poly City Tailgate or the Randallstown Romp. You can find us on all social media platforms at the number 4 Any Media. For Any Media, for anything. Contact us so we can create. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Are we ready for mine?
I think so. I think I'm ready. I'm
okay. Ready. Okay, y'all. I read an article this morning that this is about Putin. Okay. When he goes to other countries and does whatever he does, do you know that when he has to go to the bathroom, number 2, that there are literally guards who take his feces and they ship it back to Russia. They take it back to Russia.
I believe it. Because
they don't want anybody to have access to it and be able to diagnose anything that's going on with him health-wise. Y'all, I believe it. Can you believe that?
I believe it. I believe it. He is that paranoid. He's that paranoid. You saw the pictures of when he was meeting with different leaders. He had like this long table. He's the epitome of paranoid from what I hear.
It's amazing how paranoid he is given what he does.
Well, I'm sure that's why he's paranoid.
But I mean, you would think I think it's that chicken and the egg situation with that. But y'all, Crystal,
Yeah,
are you stuck? I think you just.
I believe it though. It's.
I am sitting here thinking, and I don't know if you could air this, but is he going in a bag, like a plastic bag? Like,
no, apparently not.
Capturing it.
I read the whole thing, and so what happens is he goes to the restroom. There are guards with him. He goes to the restroom. He uses the restroom. These guard goes in after him. They get the specimen, and they bring it out in some kind of suitcase or something, and it goes back to Russia. You could have bought me for 2 cents when I read that.
They got some change back. Got some change back, Christy. Could have bought you with 2 cents and got some change back.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I believe it. He is.
I'm
Well, how do you put that on your resume or your LinkedIn profile? That's your duty.
It just be like a dog walker.
Something
Like
about highly secure, a protection of highly secure something.
DNA.
No, that must be other duties as a sign.
Other dookies as a sign.
No, that is your only. How can you touch it? Nothing else. That is the only duty.
That is. Now, what source did you get this from? Did you get this from The Onion or?
Oh, no, it's real.
Babylon
it's real. I should have written down where I got it, but it wasn't. I did.
We're gonna need to go back to 11th grade English. Cite your source.
Yes, you are. Google it. Google it.
If
I'm wrong, come back and tell me.
Look, for when I did my dissertation, document check something.
Yeah, y'all. Yeah, I know that's a doozy, but I had to.
Wow, you know what? The blank stares we are getting in the chat. We are getting chat. Annette, her face. Kevin just gave.
No, I know. No words. No words.
I mean,
I
have so many
whose
questions.
mind goes there.
I have so many questions. Like, I mean, can you just imagine that conversation? Like when the person is told that that's their job to do that? Like,
I respectfully decline.
No,
I don't think you can. I don't think you can tell Vladimir Putin you don't.
I mean, you can. There'll be consequences.
Well, yeah. I mean, we see what he does to people.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe he wanted to hire a professional, so he went to like the zookeepers of Russia. Like, who is the best pooper scooper here for your skills?
But wait a minute. So this is what you. There's so much here. Because that's his duty when they go on trips with him, or maybe I'm sure they got other things.
Yeah, everything. They were saying that they're also responsible for his security or whatever. I guess, like you said, other duties as a sign.
Mm.
Yeah, y'all. So that's that. I'm glad I could share that with you. I had to hold that so that I could get your reactions live. I didn't want that.
Said day one, I quit. Annette said day one, I quit.
Right. And that's a sign to all of you who think your jobs are trash.
Yeah,
this
buddy.
is your job.
Yes.
Be grateful.
A whole lot of listeners are rethinking
Thank you,
whether or not
Lord,
they hate their job.
for keeping me from danger seen and unseen. Okay.
Lord, I praise you.
Let's take our last break.
There are worse jobs out there.
Oh my goodness. I just have nothing, and I don't know where our last break is. Well, you know what?
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
Wow, I'm impressed. Wow. Well, next week, next weekend we will be back. Next weekend is a fun-filled weekend because we have Father's Day weekend next weekend. I'm excited. For those of you here in the Baltimore area, I'll just put a little plug out here. I am preaching, bringing forth the Father's Day message at my home church, Mount Pleasant Church of Ministries here in Baltimore. Service starts at 9 a.m. But those of you who are not in Baltimore or you're somewhere else, you can actually stream it through Facebook and YouTube. But definitely pray for your boy as I get an opportunity to share the Father's Day message. So I'm excited about that. And then the next day, that Sunday also is officially Juneteenth.
It is.
So that's a special day. And so I'm pretty sure we'll do some things about that next week. So anyway, with that being said, we got a lot going on. Mason, do you have anything you need to add, sir? Oh,
He's asleep.
He good. He taking his little second morning nap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, y'all, as always, it has been an honor and a privilege to hang out on Saturday morning with you guys. Thank you so much, Christy and Crystal, for just making Headspace with Dr. Mike an awesome show. Thank you to all of our viewers and our listeners. Thank you for all your support. Feel free to send us any show ideas and any prayer requests, anything you got. Glad to see you. Thank you so much. It was a great show. I appreciate you, Kevin and Annette. Oh my gosh, thank you, Annette. Annette, I got to give a special shout out to Annette. Annette was one of the leaders. The speaker that I am today started with a program called ACSO, National Afro-Academic Cultural Technological Scientific Olympics. And so Annette, I am so grateful for your support through the years, and definitely value our friendship. Darius, one of our teammates, he said, thanks for the good conversation, was listening on my run. Man, I'm glad to hear that you were running, and be safe, man, traveling to Missouri for the wedding this weekend. All right, y'all. I wish God's many blessings upon you all. Definitely love you all, and definitely wish that, let's think about the things that we want to commit to and be committed to that commitment. With that being said, until next time, peace.
Have a good week.
Oh, my goodness, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Headspace with Dr. Mike. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to follow us on social media at Headspace DM to continue the dialogue with other Headspacers regarding today's show. Everyone is filling their headspace with something. The question is, what are you filling yours with? Tune in next week.